So I tend to get asked quite a lot, what is the difference between a credit and a debit card? Well, the main difference between a credit and a debit card is that a credit card holds money or borrows you money that a provider has lended to you, in which you pay back after a set period of time. On the other hand, a debit card is your own personal money that you have stored in your account, whether this came from a source of income or a cash deposit or any other sources of income that you might have. So you may be asking yourself, what is the point of having a credit card and how does it benefit us in this world? So for instance, what I use my credit card for is to get a higher credit score. If you don't know what a credit score is, this is what helps lenders analyze how risky you are to borrow money to. For example, the higher your credit score is, the more comfortable lenders will feel to borrow money to you, as this shows that you're reliable with payments, you don't miss payments, and you have a reliable source of income. Not only does it allow you to get your credit score up higher, it also allows you to have emergency funding available. For example, if you show that you are earning a stable amount of money and a reasonable amount of money, the bank tend to lend you a higher amount of credit. So for instance, I personally have a student account in which I have very minimal interest, which I utilize the most. I'll explain that a bit later on how to utilize credit to your advantage. During a rough period of time as a student or whoever you may be, you always have funding available to you, similar to emergency funding. I mean, in terms of getting through the month. So this could be, you may be running short for your phone bill. Having a credit card available at hand means that you can pay for that phone bill and then pay it back when you get paid next. The main benefit of having a credit card, in which I want to relate to, is that students tend to get a very low interest rate on credit cards. Me personally, I believe I don't pay interest for the first 3 months of using my credit card. So once I've used my credit card, we'll pick out a number, let's say I've used £300. So for the first 3 months, I don't pay any interest on that £300 that I've borrowed. So for example, if I have set up a payment plan for myself that I pay back £100 each month, I will not pay any interest for the first 3 months of using that credit. Unfortunately, there are a few disadvantages of using a credit card if not used wisely. And what I mean by this is, if you use excessive amounts of credit on your credit card, this is known as high credit utilization. This can also bring your credit score down. So the best way to keep your credit score high, if that is what you're planning to do, is to use a maximum of 50% in order to keep your credit utilization down and keep your credit score above sea level. Not only this, but late repayments can also have a bad effect on your credit score. So you see, the thing is with a credit card, a lot of it is linked to your credit score. So if you're not careful with how you utilize the credit card, you may find yourself in a bigger hole than you ever were. That's why you have to be extremely careful when using a credit card. Also making sure that you read the terms and conditions of each product that you ever purchase from the bank. I know a lot of people seem to just sign the terms and conditions and just go about their way, but you will get to the point where you are faced with a bill from the bank that you may not be able to repay, that you knew about, but you just didn't read the terms and conditions. Unfortunately, this is how obviously banks operate. Nothing is hidden from you, you just have to take that opportunity to read it. I know it takes a bit more longer than expected, but it is advised highly, which is why you should do it. On the downside, there is still interest occurred during the period of time that you borrow the money from the bank. What I mean by this is, even if you have that 3-month free period, after that 3-month period you will start to get charged interest. And if you're not able to keep up with the payments or make the minimum payments, then you may find yourself accumulating a lot of interest within a year or within whatever period of time that you've borrowed that set amount of money for. There are a few ways that you can take advantages of using a credit card. For instance, let's say you have a deal in front of you that you can't resist, and what I mean by a deal is a flip deal. So let's say you want to buy something and resell it on during the week or during the next week, but before the period of time where the interest occurs from that credit from that provider. So having this money at hand and not using your own personal money can mean that you use the money from the bank, make the flip, take your profit and return the money that you borrowed from the bank, meaning that you've literally just made pure profit and you've had to invest none. One of the main things I use my credit card for is to build my credit score, and what a credit score can help you with is getting a mortgage, getting a direct debit, purchasing a vehicle is one of the most important ones. When you go to the showroom and let's say you want to take out a leased vehicle, they normally tend to do credit checks on each individual, And once this credit check is performed, this will show them how reliable you are. If you've missed any payments, you also have to enter how much you earn to show that if you are able to keep up with the payments the payment plan that they're preparing for you. But this of course varies from lender to lender. So me personally, I like to build my credit score as real estate is something that I'm looking to get into the future. So in order to get finance, you do need to have a good financial footprint. But that's it for today's video. I thought I'd just make a quick one. I didn't want to make anything too complicated. I didn't want to make anything too excessive of time. Just a quick information dipper, as I like to call it, just to give you an insight on the differences between a credit card and a debit card. I know it is something quite basic relative to life, but some people still haven't been taught it. You don't get taught these things at school, so you do have to find other ways of accumulating that information. But thanks for listening and be ready for the next episode.